Hi there, my name is Fox, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 3. This is going to be the fourth and final scenario in the Elixir of Life campaign from Jelliu. This is going to be a thief in the night, and I'm very excited. Anytime that we have one of the closing scenarios in these campaigns, it always turns out to be a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a, man, I hope that you built your hero right, otherwise you're going to have a real bad time kind of an issue. And so what are we to expect? I don't know. We're going to find out how good of a job we've done, how good of a job we have done in making good decisions to set ourselves up for success. A thief in the night. We must steal the vial of lifeblood from the vampire Lord Vokial to create the elixir of life and win the campaign. However, if Jelliu is defeated in combat, the scenario is lost. He is limited to level 25, but will carry his experience, skills, and spells onto the next campaign. We will be starting as the green player against one red enemy. This is a medium-sized map. Let's put this on impossible difficulty, and then we have the choice between starting off with 3,000 gold, 20 rogues, or 10 sharpshooters. And I gotta say, this is actually a kind of an interesting choice here, because I can see some strategic advantages with any of these choices. If you start off with the gold, for example, you can potentially get into some long-term gold generation. This can help you with your economy and getting up to your capital. The rogues, that can help you use their spying ability, and maybe you take some fights that you otherwise wouldn't. Maybe you find some enemies that will be willing to join you. We've seen that be very wonderful, especially with our diplomacy that we have. And then we also could start off with the 10 sharpshooters, which there's very few problems that you can't fix with tons and tons of bow fire from afar. I'm just saying, there's no bad choices here, but as always, let's let the dice roll decide what we're going to pick here. The dice are going to indicate to us that we're going to roll a 5. A 5 is going to be starting off with the 10 sharpshooters. I'm kind of sad. I kind of wanted to try one of these two options. I feel like the rogues would be very, very fun to play with, but alas, I remain bound to the dice roll. And so, folks, with that being said, let's dive in.
The final artifact needed to construct the Elixir of Life is in the undead hands of the vampire Lord Vokial. It is said the vial of lifeblood allows him to sustain himself without having to resort to more distasteful means of bloodletting. Although this artifact can be said to be preventing some evil where it is, our need for the vial is even more desperate. You must find a way to steal the vial from this vampire. But keep in mind that not every task need be accomplished by direct means. Use your training wisely and stay sharp.
Not every task need be accomplished by direct means. And so I think immediately of Dimension Door, and I think immediately of, let's just kill the vampire. Well, if the vial of lifeblood's doing a good job in preventing some evil with where it's at, how about we kill the vampire that would otherwise cause evil without it? There's lots of different ways to approach this. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I haven't ever done that, but that's what the saying says, and that's what we're going to go with here today. Now, the time has come to obtain the Elixir of Life's final component, the Vial of Lifeblood. For a long time, the vial has been in the clutches of the vampire Lord Vokial. He uses the vial to supplement his need to feed on human blood. It is said he finds the old-fashioned way of feeding to be distasteful, boorish, and beneath one such as he. Stealing this artifact from him will accomplish two things: complete the elixir and cause him great embarrassment and discomfort. Oh, it will complete the elixir and cause him great embarrassment and discomfort. It might even kill him, but I doubt we will be so lucky. Understood. So it looks like we've got, I'm just looking at the mini-map here immediately. This is where my eye is drawn to, and I see this little spot here. This little spot here looks like a garrison with some creatures here. You can't really bring creatures out of the garrison. They're just kind of stuck there as defenders. That doesn't look like enough to really dissuade an enemy from coming through, but all the same, nice to know. And so 3 garrisons with about the same level of troops, just a little bit of a deterrent, and then not 1, but 2 castles. And no heroes. We spent all that time in the previous scenarios building up some nice friends, you know, some nice lieutenants, and now they're all gone. I'm very, very sad for that. It's just going to be us, level 20, 16 attack, 14 defense, 6 power, 8 knowledge. Very, very happy to see that we still have our expert earth magic, expert air magic. And so as far as spells go, we do have the town portal. We're going to use it just like base level town portal. We have decided that it removes some of the challenge if we are teleporting all over the map at any given point. So we're going to be a little careful about how we use town portal. Nice to see that we're going to be using the View Air and the View Earth very, very quickly. And I suppose that so long as we have visions, expert visions, we don't really need the rogues for what we had talked about earlier. Disguise, we will see how useful that'll be. I'm pretty sure that the computer is not really distracted by the disguise. Happy to see the haste and the slow, the shield. Yes, we do have some opportunities, especially with this expert chain lightning. I'm feeling pretty okay. Not to mention expert resurrection. That'll save us a lot of heartache. So, as far as our castles go, it looks like we do start off with a 3rd level mage guild, anti-magic, not too bad, but we probably already have that. We are missing dendroids, unicorns, and dragons. Otherwise, we are up to our 4th level creatures in one castle and in the other. In fact, the only difference between the castles is it looks like a capital, which we already start off with, versus the town hall, and 1 level of mage guild here. So I think that any heroes that we hire that are going to be magic, we're going to hire here in Strong Glen. With no gold to speak of, we need to hit the road. And let's just see what we can find with what we have. There's gold here. Dwarves here. I am going to cast the vision spell right now, just to see if there's any enemies that are going to join us. These creatures are going to flee. I can't tell about those elves that are guarding whatever's up there. Let's also cast the View Air just to see what we got here. It looks like it's going to be 1, 2, 3 enemy castles to the south, starting off with 1, 2, 3 enemy heroes as well. If I can figure out what those 3 heroes are, that'd be wonderful. There does look to be 1 town to my immediate west. I don't know how we're going to get there. I wonder how this garrison's going to play into that. Maybe this is our territory here, and then if we can go through the garrison, we can get up into that area as well. We will see. We will wait and find out. Tons of artifacts on the enemy side. We are much weaker. That's a little bit sad. They're going to be pretty tough, but that means that there's going to be an opportunity for us to steal artifacts when we come upon the enemy. This View Earth, by the way. Whoa, fire planes over there. Pretty interesting. And let's see, gold mine, gems, crystal. I'm looking for crystal. There's crystal over here, ore, wood, sulfur. Looks like resources aren't going to really be a problem. And it looks like there is going to be a path along the road. I wonder if there's some major enemies guarding us between here and this castle that this road seems to kind of go to over there. Otherwise, big things to really look for. Looks like a big cache of resources, maybe artifacts in this little pocket to the very far north of the border. This is going to be interesting, this fire plane. And then we already mentioned 1, 2, and 3 of the necromancy castles. I think it's too much to ask for us to try and do a blitz into the enemy's territory. We're going to need some gold before we can actually head there. So let's get the wood, let's get the ore, and let's get the crystal as soon as we can. We're going to have plenty of resources tomorrow. I think that I'm going to take just 1 step out of my way here. 25 wood elves. I would rather take those out myself more than anyone else. And I'm actually going to engage with these enemies in large part because we're going to have a glorious victory with no problems. I don't think I have automatic spell casting on. I do. Look at that. I don't know why I do, but for some reason I've got auto spell casting on. Let me turn that off actually. Where is that? I'm not sure actually. Huh. Okay. That was just kind of weird that we have that on. I never keep that on, but we have it on for now. And my secondary hero is going to go and grab all this. We just have to clear things out along the way. Learning Stone, I'm not worried about that. These resources here, we'll come back for those in a little while. Battle Dwarves, might as well take the experience. It's free. It's free real estate. Fountain of Youth will be interesting. And there's really no purchases to make in either of these towns, especially with no resources. I think we just have to wait a day, and we immediately see Isra has come up from the bottom. I believe that Isra has the speciality of skeletons, so that'd be a good hero to pick off early, just so we don't have to deal with their random wild stuff that they do. Anytime you can remove a threat before it becomes a problem, it seems like a good idea to me. Ogre Magi, terrifying monsters. They stir the bloodlust in their allies as I have never seen before. Thane and Dessa as our 2 choices. I think that there's no question in which hero we're going to take. It's for sure going to be Dessa. It is Isra that is the main enemy combatant that we have to deal with. They are ahead in every manner, although our attack and defense, it should equalize the playing field very quickly. So Dessa, why Dessa? Because of course they do have the logistics, and right now I'm just looking to be as fast as I can. 6 speed from the Wolf Riders is going to be the play here. I'm going to leave every other troop. I could spend the gold to do just 1 Pegasi. I don't think I'm going to have them do any fighting whatsoever. And so for that reason, let's just have them go. No resources, no loose resources. Let's just pick up things like centaurs. That is going to slow us down in just a moment, I believe. 6 speed, 8 speed. But then we can pick up sulfur mines, freebies there. And it's probably not a bad idea to pick up another hero in our other castle. In this case, I think it will be Thant, just because there is going to be some additional troops here. I will leave the gremlins. They can guard this. What is this? Not a citadel. This fort, I suppose. They'll take care of dealing with any intruders as they might want to come in. And let's just get out and about and start to explore. I do see this treetop tower where we can recruit more sharpshooters. That always feels terrific. And we are very close to Isra. Very close indeed. There's this fire plains. It looks like we can see just the beginnings of it, guarded behind these dwarves. So we're going to see in just a second what else there is out there. And as we're going by, I really just want to clear out any monsters I can with my main hero here. And so that other friends can follow quickly behind me. 320 experience there. I don't really care if these dwarves want to join me or not. Knock, knock. I'm coming. Battle dwarves. Again, no problem. I am going to pick up this ore mine, this ore pit. It's 2 steps out of the way. And then we're going to start accruing some of that ore. But I'm trying to be choosy with our movement points here. And again, no other purchases at this time. Next purchase is probably going to be looking at citadels. Dendroids are going to be pretty cheap. We'll grab those on day 7, but unless we can get multiple gem pawns, I'm not too worried about getting unicorns. It'll happen when it happens. So, the Fountain of Youth. We drink from the fountain's waters and feel young again, sensing your renewed vigor. Your army's morale improves, allowing you to cover additional ground as you head to your next battle. So the morale and the movement points, that should be an extra 400 movement points. That's so wonderful. Somebody else can grab this Seer's Hut for me and these treasure chests. I'll take everything I can get in gold. And then just in case there's any problems here, I'm going to split these sharpshooters into 3 stacks. I don't think that we'll have any issue against a pack of wood elves, but all the same. 285 experience there. Yeah, and the auto spell casting just... Alright, cool, whatever. I'm good with it. Crystal, though, is an important resource. When you look at the rampart and you're building this up, unicorns take gems, and then it's going to be tons and tons of crystal, not only for your dragons, but also to get your silver pegasi. And so, crystal mine is one of the first things I look for whenever I'm playing as a ramparts. Nice to see that a mythical garden... Not mythical, it's mystical, I suppose. A mystical garden is not too far away. Elves and centaurs, there's some good opportunities around us here. And there's enough stuff that we've found so far that we are going to pick up a fourth hero, a third kind of extra guy. I'm going to pick up just one rogue here now because they do have, as we mentioned earlier, the spying ability. And that's going to help us make some good choices later on. Otherwise, I do want to pick up whatever free troops I can possibly get. I want to see what's available to us. Thankfully, along this road, there's a little bit more to be had in this area. But we are not going to be able to access most of it just yet. I do hope that we don't lose Thant to someone coming through the garrison. It turned the enemy away once. Are we lucky enough that it will turn them away twice? Difficult to say. One more hero is required. They're going to have no troops whatsoever. I don't really care who it is. Let's just make it Tiva. And let's, once again, do a little shuffling with the army, and the Pegasi are going to go so far and so fast. By the way, if you could have any mythical creature from Heroes of Might and Magic 3, what would you pick? I've got to say, there's something wonderful about the Pegasi. I've always loved the Greek mythology with Hercules. The idea of having a Pegasi that you get to ride majestically into battle, it sounds like one of the all-time coolest creatures you could possibly have. Of course, there's some serious argument to be made about many of the creatures. Even something as like dangerous as like a manticore, something like a expert scholar. We'll take a freebie there. Oh, I should have waited for our main commander to take that. Jelyu could have used that potentially a little bit better. Something like having, I don't know, an obsidian gargoyle would still even be cool. I don't know. I would probably choose something fluffy. Probably something from the Rampart faction, to be honest. Just a good alignment tends to sit well with me. And so that's probably what I would choose. Something like the SI. Speaking of which, this is my gem pond. I don't have time to slow down. We're coming straight for you. 360 experience. That's absolutely free. We'll pick up the gems on the way there because we don't have to slow down. There's a garrison here, which is very interesting. We're going to go in that direction in just 1 second, but I do want to make sure that we get this other ore mine. 20 Centaur captains join you for the sum of 1,800 gold. Do I accept? I think I've got plenty of gold because I've got the capital, and so this is a good way to just generate some more troops. I will take it. I'm not gonna question that. I'm just gonna take it. Looks like there's one more enemy there. We're gonna clear them out very, very quickly. We are up to 35 ore. There's no problem with me getting citadels in both cases. Working on our troops. Vokial is a powerful vampire lord and will be well defended. Take great care when you invade Deja to steal the vial, for he will be wary of thieves such as you. Looks like it's going to be some more wood elves. I think it'd be maybe too much to ask if they'll join us. They do just want to run. We shall allow them to. Psych! I did it again. I said I was going to let them run, and then I immediately proceed to slaughter them. As I've said before, I really do feel pretty bad whenever I do that. It was really not my intent. It just kind of happened. Whoops. I'm going to use Thane to go in this direction. I want to see what's over here. And I'm glad that I did, because I think that I can use Jelyu to clear out these Pegasi and clear out these Grand Elves, and then let another hero deal with whatever's left over. Picking up the Pegasi and whatever here, it makes sense to be the most efficient with my movement points, especially because really, as far as I'm concerned, I only have one hero right now. That's really all I feel like I have. And so let's just use our one hero as well as we can and go from there. Psst, hey, over here. We hear you're looking for a vial owned by a particular vampire lord. We of the Thieves Guild are looking for a few things ourselves. You do us a favor and we do you one in return. If you bring us the Titan's Gladius and the Sentinel shield, we can acquire said vial from this particular vampire lord's home. Do we have a deal? I thought so. So if we find the Titan's Gladius and the Sentinel shield, it looks like they're just going to give us the artifact we seek for free. I wonder if this is the only way we can get this artifact. I wonder if when it talked about in the very beginning cinematic, there are going to be alternative ways of winning this scenario. I wonder if that's what they mean. If you have the choice in how you proceed in this scenario. I don't know. We're going to find out. What is up with this lake of fire? As far as I can tell, there's nothing in these fiery fields. Yeah, there's nothing here. It's just for fun, I suppose. If you fight in the fiery fields, fire magic instantly gets boosted up to expert level, regardless of who's doing the fighting. I don't know if you're going to lure somebody to the fiery fields and then fight them. That seems like a little bit of a conniving type of situation. Good luck getting someone to just go with that. That's kind of what I'm trying to say there. I think that we're very unlikely to get 2 Unicorn Glades, but let's get 2 castles right now. Rather than get 1 Unicorn Glade and then be short on getting up to the Green Dragon Cliff anyway, let's make sure we have our castles here on day 5. And we'll figure out what to do and where to go in just a second. Once again, experience doesn't really matter at this point. We're level 20. This is the final scenario. I'm not too concerned. 3 centaurs. I'm going to save you the trouble. We're going to take our 540 experience and just leave. When I say just leave, I mean partially just going to this pack of Grand Elves. Followers. Wonderful. A group of Grand Elves with a desire for greater glory wish to join us. Do we accept? I sure do. That's going to be 16 Grand Elves to join us, not to mention 7 Wood Elves that we're going to hire. Rather than take the time to clear out in this direction, I think that our time is probably going to be better spent going through this garrison. I just got a feeling. We know that there's a castle to the west. Let's just get there as quickly as we can and raise up a 3rd castle. A few extra troops right now could be nice. Lots of extra troops in a castle could be wonderful. That additional 5 gems actually is going to go a long, long way for us. We just picked up in that mystical garden. Not to mention these 6 here. We just got enough gems to get 2 Unicorn Glades. We are going to be just a little bit short on the ore, but we always have the opportunity to trade, and so we shall. It's going to be 3 sulfur and 1 day's worth of time. It's day 6, so we got plenty of time. I don't think we're going to run into any gold around here. We might. We'll find out. Basic tactics. centaurs. And I do like that we have so many heroes. Oh, there's treasure right here. Never mind. We're going to get what we need. I do like that we have this many heroes. There's always a question of, do I have too many heroes? And generally, the answer is going to be no. Probably about 60% of the time, the answer is going to be no. Well, maybe more than that. Maybe like 80% of the time, the more heroes you have, the better. Up to 4 heroes, rarely are you going to regret that decision. But essentially, this is a 7,500 gold investment. Because we started with the capital, though, I'm not stressing out about it. I'm really not. Notice that the cover of darkness has been enacted, and we're going to struggle a little bit with that. By the way, I got some very interesting feedback. Someone in a previous video, and when this was a video from a while ago, made a comment that the cover of darkness does not affect the AI at all. I have no reason to believe that they are incorrect about that. And so that's going to be my working theory moving forward, is that the cover of darkness and the cover of darkness, either from the Necromancy Castle or from the adventure map object, I'm going to assume from here on out that neither of those actually impact our enemies. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know. Otherwise, I have no reason to believe. I'm pretty darn sure that there's a lot of excellent Heroes Might and Magic 3 players out there, and they've got a lot of good information that I am always thrilled to have. I'm going to leave these Wood Elves behind. Anybody else to leave behind? No, I don't think so. This is just going to be our advanced scout with Dessa. Might as well go up the road as far as possible, so that way we can see what else is here. Aha, light blue border gate. Can't get that. Helm of Chaos, +3 knowledge. And this gold mine could be terrific. And there is a garrison here, so we've run our course with Dessa. Somebody else is going to pick up that helm, these resources, and we're going to make a break for this gold mine and then this garrison. While I'm thinking about it, before I do anything else, let's upgrade these sharpshooters and split them into 3 stacks, like so. I will split the elves into 2 stacks, and we're just going to go from here. It is day 7. Any final purchases? We're up to castles. We're up all the way. I don't think that there's any chance for us to get to the Dragon Cliffs at this time. Is it worth it to work on a resource silo? I think so. I don't like the idea of the Mystic Pond. I've explained that I think that it's always a poor investment, in my personal opinion. But the resource silo for an additional 1 crystal per turn, knowing that we're going to need lots and lots of crystal, I think we're going to do that. I'm going to build the crystal silo, the resource silo, in our most protected castle, so I don't ever end up giving that back up. And while that's going to spend the very last of my gold here, I do feel that it'll be the best thing for me. Be wary of the Thieves Guild, where they are treacherous and cunning. Make certain you have what they seek, and be sure to see the object you seek before you give them that which they desire. Could you imagine if you got absolutely hoodwinked and you had the wool pulled over your eyes and some mean-spirited individuals completely threw you for a loop and, oh, I'm gonna win the scenario. No, you're just down to Titan's Gladius. You're just out. Best of luck. That would be actually a pretty mean joke. And one of those kinds of jokes you'd only really get to play once, because after you've done it once, anybody, and I mean anybody, is going to remember this weird little hiccup in the scenario from thenceforth, and they're never going to fall for it again. There are still things in certain games that I play to this day. Well, games I haven't played in a long time that I could play to this day that I remember with no problem. Weird example. There was an old game from the Best of Entertainment from the original Windows 98 PCs, and it was called Chip's Challenge. There's a good chance that if you've been around computers at all in your life, you remember Chip's Challenge. Very fun game, and wasted a lot of my time and my siblings' time as we were growing up. And there's probably the 9th map. I could probably download the game at this point and just do it. The muscle memory is still there. Right, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, down, left, up, and then you're through. It's this weird little maze that if you don't do it right, you're going to lose and you're going to immediately struggle. But to this day, I still recall, and I make no apologies for it. Funny how little things like that still stay with you for a long, long time. And funny how it's usually muscle memory. Muscle memory tends to last a lot longer for me than other certain memories do. I do love the psychology of memory and long-term and short-term storage. number one, I always love the fact that if you fall asleep, you're immediately going to start converting any of your knowledge that you have into long-term storage. That's always just supremely interesting to me in the way that long-term memory is created through your short-term, and like what percentage of your short-term memory is going to persist through the transcoding and the inscription process, essentially. But then also the way that things like flashbulb memories work. It's those events where something crazy happens and you remember it as if you were there right here, right now. For example, I can still tell you to this day exactly where I was when I was in the 5th grade. And for Americans, there was the events, the terrorist attacks of 9/11. And I remember immediately, I can recall with great, striking, not just emotion, but also vividness, the smells of that class and the touch and the look up at the clock and how true all of those things are, I can't tell you, because memory is inherently unreliable. An eyewitness is not the most reliable thing you've ever seen in your life. We've stumbled into something here which we might want to remember in the future. But it feels pretty darn important to me to just remember that moment, or maybe it was so exciting and just, maybe exciting is the wrong word, but it's still vivid to this day, a flashbulb memory. We have 40 Silver Pegasi, 65 of the Wood Elves, 25 of the Dendroid Guards in 2 stacks, and then another 65 Wood Elves here to deal with. It's going to be an awful lot of spells that we're going to have. It looks like some Elves and some of the Sharpshooters have gone down. We do have the Resurrect True. I wish I knew what I'd started off with. It looks like we just lost, 10 Grand Elves, so the Resurrect Trues are going to be useful. I am grateful this is not a magical garrison because we are going to be able to cast some spells. I think that as much as I hate these Dendroid Guards, their presence makes it so I don't want to cast the Chain Lightning unless I have no better spell at this time. I just need a huge stack of damage right there. I suppose I could always Air Shield, which will reduce the amount of damage from ranged attacks. I suppose I could Haste to try and get Centaurs down the road sooner, but then the Dendroids are going to come out and grab them. And so I'm really thinking that just some good spell damage mixed with some resurrections at the end is going to be the very best thing for me. So should I just cast the Expert Chain Lightning? Tell you what, it'll do more damage. With my 160 spell points, it'll do more damage than just a regular lightning bolt. And it'll also hurt my own Centaurs, which, hey, that's a win-win-win-win-win. That's not what I was going for there, actually. That was not my favorite thing. But note that we just killed 24 Wood Elves with 1 stack of our Sharpshooters. We're feeling okay about this fight. I hate to have these Silver Pegasi just be right here in our face, but if I step right here for next turn, they're going to have to make a decision about where they go. That apparently was the right decision. We're going to do so much damage here. We're going to kill another, 50 of the Wood Elves. I will deal with the Silver Pegasi somehow. But for now, let me just send the Centaur Captains down the battlefield and take out as many Wood Elves as possible. Grand Elves, they can just defend pretty much. I don't think that the Pegasi are going to stick around. They shall not. 5 and 5 of the Centaurs go down. That bit of morale is actually very, very bad. That's very, very bad. I wish that any of these other... I wish that this stack of Dendroids had gotten that, or even the Elves had gotten the chance to do that. That's pretty unfortunate, actually, because they are now so much closer. They're immediately more or less in range of these ranged troops. I'm feeling pretty bad about that. Rather than waste a spell on these Pegasi, let's try and take them out with these 14 and 15 Sharpshooters. We are going to want to do some Resurrect Trues in a little bit, but for now, I think that one big lightning bolt of damage is going to help a lot there. And because these are 4-speed Dendroids, we can always just walk away. Just walk away. Just walk away. And walk away here and get good morale again. No, maybe not. It's going to be Wood Elves that go next. Let's just waste their turn. They're going to have to deal with these Centaur Captains somehow. As we go down to 17 Silver Pegasi, down to 14. 1 Sharpshooter goes down. Elves do what they can there. We're going to win this fight. It's just not going to be very, very pretty. I am going to start to consider my Resurrect Trues. I'm going to start to consider other spells, but I think one more lightning bolt there. Gotta take out these silver pegasi. Dendroids are gonna make it so I can't run with my stacks. That's gonna be okay though. Grand Elves will kill here. Sharpshooters better start doing damage to these Dendroids. I want one stack of Dendroids left, so then I can just run in circles. That seems to be the very, very best thing for me. I'm gonna wait. And go. Ouch. Okay. 15 sharpshooters down to 8. In just a second, these Dendroids are going to be on me. I don't really want to let them bind me, so I'm going to run. I'm going to run next turn. Next turn, I shall run. And that means that it's probably not a bad idea to start my resurrecting. So 6 up to 15 on those sharpshooters. These sharpshooters might as well just wait. And here. Oh, and again, we don't want to get tangled up. Get it? Tangled up. There wasn't really a joke there, but if you act like there was a joke there, maybe people will think that there was a joke there. That could always be okay. Okay. I'm very, very close on these margins here. Again, let's take out one full stack of the Dendroids there. A slow could be useful. I just don't want to invest in the slow right now. Oh, it's going to make everything else go so much better. Let's just do it. Walk away. Attack. Run away. And whatever damage we take from these elves is going to be pretty meaningless, so I won't worry too much. Okay. Down to 2 speed. Not nearly so worried about these Dendroids. I would like to continue my resurrections. And we're going to leave probably one of these elves alive before the end of this battle, just so we can make sure our forces are back to full. We did 14 damage on the melee attack. That feels pretty fun. Whenever your ranged troops are actually doing good hand-to-hand combat damage, I feel a-okay about everything that's happening here. This is going to be the last stack of sharpshooters that needs to resurrect. If we lose one sharpshooter to these elves, so be it. I've had worse things happen. And then I suppose we could resurrect one of the centaurs. I think I'd rather resurrect Grand Elves, and I think we're going to call this sufficient. And we're going to lose 17 centaur captains, turning a loss into a victory. Killing 130 wood elves is not a small thing, but we're going to take that. Not too big of a deal. Okay. So, with our sharpshooters, with our elves, we are now through, and we know that there's a castle up this road somewhere. Let's ignore the ore pit, let's ignore the sawmill, let's just dive straight onto our objective. There's another scholar in the road. There's been 3 scholars so far. We see Bathir with a pack of the battle dwarves guarding it. I hope that we don't see enemies invade our territory while we are gone, as we're in this upper left corner. It feels like we're hitting some good timing marks, and so I think that we're going to be okay. I think we're going to stay ahead of the enemy's aggression. As you ride into a clearing, you notice a university scholar resting his horse. He agrees to teach you some of what he knows before setting off. That's +1 knowledge. We're going to take this castle with terrible losses. Just kidding. Free. Absolutely free. And there is no tavern here, but I want one now. More than anything, I want another hero in this area. Plenty of gold, and it's going to be Mafala. I've mentioned before that she is one of my all-time favorite heroes. I love the armor speciality, and with the basic leadership, she does a really, really good job. She's always a good pickup in my eyes. It is impossible to retaliate in the onslaught of the many-headed Hydra. I agree. Which head do you even go after? And if you're paying attention to one head, is it not concerning when you accidentally ignore or forget about the other head? You got to watch an awful lot of teeth there when you are dealing with a Hydra. I'm going to go up the road as far as I can, just to see if there's anything worth having here. I don't see anything. We've got enough troops. Truly, we do. But I wonder, maybe we're going to find this light blue border gate. Maybe we pick up troops and then start to invade into this territory. Maybe we just make sure we clear out sections like this. Let's head up here. I see that there's some enemy right here. We're going to grab them now. A couple of wood elves. They want to fight. We shall let them. Fix Fox, they didn't want to fight. I know. I know. But we fought them anyway. You gotta have the Equestrian's gloves. My word, there's some good artifacts here. +4, Buckler of the Null King, Orb of Tempestuous Fire. I don't care so much about that, nor do I really care about the scales of the Greater Basilisk. But +4 to our defense and the additional movement on land. These are some good artifacts. And look how cheap this is. I'm gonna get this today. Watch this. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna trade just a little bit of resources. A little bit more. Not the ore. We need the ore for the dragons. And we're gonna pick these equestrian gloves up today. Pay for it in gold, and we're gonna sprint away absolutely as fast as we can go, making sure no enemy follows us, because we are gonna take this and immediately give this to our main hero. If you're running a one hero map, then that seems like the very, very best thing you can do. I think that Tiva is already gonna pick up some of these extra things for us. More heroes in this area is not gonna be too bad. And any defenders that we must pick up, say in this castle here, they are going to do a good enough job, I'm sure. I'm not worried about my defenders at this time. We do need to pick up things here. 5 more gems. And Wood Elves, we're going to stay here and pick those up tomorrow. Good start. Really good start. Aha! You have served me well thus far, Jelu. Jelu. Man, we already did this conversation. Jelu, Glue, Gelu. What have I been calling him recently? I'm just going to go with Jelu. Jelu. I, Lord Falarel, am pleased with your service and shall report this to your superiors in the Forest Guard. This joint venture with Erathia has served us well, and perhaps will go a long way to heal the wounds suffered in the Timber Wars. I shall reward your loyalty to me with a small token of gold. Please accept this with my thankful gratitude for your endeavors to save Avli and protect her people. This is kind of interesting. Suffered in the Timber Wars. There is going to be the new Heroes of Might and Magic game. What's it called? It's going to be... Oh, I got to look it up for you real quick. I'm sure that if you like Heroes of Might and Magic, you have heard about this. It's Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. So it's going to be a prequel to the original Heroes of Might and Magic series. This is not a Might and Magic game. This is Heroes of Might and Magic. Just a prequel to the events of Heroes of Might and Magic 1. So Queen Lamanda, Lord Slayer, Lord Alamar. There's going to be a lot of nifty things, hopefully, built up in the story. And I hope that it's going to be good. There's no guarantee is the problem. And I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I've decided that that is the best possible way I can be, because let's be real. I want a good Heroes of Might and Magic game. Your army is ambushed by a small tribe of wild, and none too bright, orcs. You fend them off easily, and the survivors flee in all directions. One of the orcs was wearing a polished, horned helm. Figuring it will make a good souvenir. You take it. That is +3 knowledge. That's a couple extra Resurrect Trues, if nothing else. And so I'm going to be cautiously optimistic as we rally our troops around this flag, because what do I gain if the game is bad? Nothing. I gain absolutely nothing, and then I'm just like a negative Nancy, and nobody really needs that kind of energy. I don't need that energy in my life, so why would I want to put that energy out for you? Exactly. So I'm not going to do it. And it could be really good. The artwork right now looks okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I don't hate it. By no means do I hate the artwork I've seen so far, and I'm sure I haven't even seen the most of it, and I'm sure that what we've seen is leaks and early access, and many things are subject to change. It looks like they're doing things in the right way, if that makes any sense. I don't think that I need to be too concerned. There's nothing I've seen that makes me think, oh no, that's bad. Everything I've seen is, okay, I'm excited, and that's the direction I'm going to stay with it until I actually play the game. I, like most people, are going to be very excited to play it as soon as possible. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of beta testing or early access or anything like that, but you better believe that I would love the opportunity to get a sneak peek, a first look, and to talk about in a balanced way the pluses and minuses that I see. And if I love it, I'll let you know, and if I don't love it, I'll let you know. But at least you know that I'll be honest with you one way or the other. You have found several of the best astrologers in the land gathered at the star axis. Happy to have some company. They teach you how to use the sun, moon, and stars to enhance your spell casting ability. That's +1 spell power. And I actually suppose, because this is such momentous news with this upcoming game, I suppose that I ought to take a really closer look at what has been released so far, so that way I can share with you my actual thoughts. I should probably put together just a quick presentation on what I have found, or at least provide some links. Unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity to do so yet. I've been my time has been spoken for. Very, very much so as of late. How about that? But if I get the opportunity, I will absolutely do some digging, and I will let you know what I think. I will walk you through whatever information is already present, and I'm happy to give you my insights wherever I possibly can. These dragon cliffs, I think we can totally take this fight. 4th level spell. These should just be green dragons, right? And so the meteor shower should work on these dragons. Even if they don't, I guess it doesn't really matter. So when you have a hero, right, with 16 attack, 15 defense, you're doing okay. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. 42 spell points left. If we can find a magic well, that'd be great. There is one down here. I don't know if we want to go that far. Then again, it is along the main road. So with day 5 in the rear view mirror, I've got to tell you, we've seen the red enemy once. Just once. One time. And I'm thrilled that they are not rushing towards me as we pick up the basic estates and plenty of extra gold. But I'm also a little bit concerned because they started off with 3 castles. We just got our 3rd castle. And I'm sure that they are up to bone dragons by now. And if they decide to attack while I'm out of position, that could spell disaster. We will have to wait and see what we kind of come across and what we find. I've lost the thread here. I need to get these equestrian gloves back, don't I? Let's just take a quick look at our heroes real quick. Yep, these artifacts and this helm. Thane and Dessa both need to meet up with Jelyu. Day 6. We are going to click through day 6 in just one moment. Everything else has been visited. And now today we're going to see if we can get up to our dragons. Very, very big pickup getting this dragon cliff already. Both the unicorns and the dragon cliff is stupendous, truly. Because now we're not going to have to fall so far behind as perhaps the enemy will otherwise put us at a disadvantage for. I did notice that they had the opportunity to pick up bone dragons. There was a bone dragon pit, a crypt. What do you call it? The neutral artifact, neutral event place where you can get bone dragons on the adventure map. And so if at all possible, I would like to prevent them from outpacing my gold and green dragon production. If possible, I would sure like to do that. We are about 18 ore away from getting this dragon cliff. I know that we have 3 castles right now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. If we pick up a marketplace here, I think that it makes sense to trade everything else for the resources we need. There's going to be 8. There's going to be, whoa, another 8. And then a little bit more ore. That should do it. And so month 1, week 2, day 7, we're going to be picking up plenty of dragons. Base growth of 1, castle +1, external dwellings of +1. That's going to be 6 dragons a week between these 2 castles. Let's see the enemy counteract that. I'm sure that they're going to do a pretty good job of doing so, and yet I'd like to see it happen. Unfortunately, I picked up the marketplace here. I meant to pick up the Mage Guild, but I wanted to trade. Should we continue on our way, or should we waste time? There's no sense in waiting right now. It looks like there's something up here. I don't know what it is. I would like to find out before I do anything else. So let's actually have Dessa see if they can get this artifact on over. We are just shy. We're going to miss out by that much. But so be it. Rumor has it that the sword of a titan can be found guarded by black dragons living in the valley to the southwest. Good to know. Let's actually see if we can spot that with our View Earth spell. So valley to the southwest, I'm guessing it's somewhere in here. And maybe over here there's going to be a Titan's Gladius. If I had to guess, that would be what I would think will happen. We're going to pull over the equestrian gloves, I guess I'll let go of one of the rings for now. We're going to keep the Loins of the Legion here. I don't want any of these slower troops for now. And because Des is right here, they're going to go explore in this area. We're going to see if we really need to come here or not. Treetop Tower, they're good. I don't think it's that good. If there's something else behind here, I would love to know. I don't know if it's worth going out of my way for. We got stuff to do. Like a Boar Glen. We got to get that. It'll take us one day out of our way. And I don't really have much else to do except get this gold mine, School of Magic, Ore Pit. Tell you what, let's just go grab this real quick. Maybe these dwarves are going to want to join us. They don't. They just want to die quickly. Very surprising, actually. And since we're all the way over here, we're going to pick up the Scholar. And then the gold mine is actually going to make this very, very worth it. This is going to make it worth our time. So let's get out of the way. And it looks like it's free at this point. We're going to have Dessa pick up all this. And then we're going to head out. Not too bad. Not too bad. I was really conflicted with whether or not that would be the most appropriate decision. Recently, I had the opportunity to either do the responsible thing or do the fun thing. So I started a new job where I'm working with youth. And that's really kind of where my heart is at, especially working with at-risk youth, kids that have some reasonable concerns and have impacted the community in a negative way in some way. Through their choices, there's been some problems, and so there's been some new interventions. And these are not bad kids. Personally, I understand that there's a lot of rough individuals out there. I've not met a whole ton of individuals that were just born bad. Truly, I haven't. And maybe I need my own personal positive outlook. Maybe for me to do well in life, I need to believe that all people are born good, but regardless of whether that's just something I need to have to get by or whether it's the absolute truth, that's going to be my stance for the rest of my life. And if that ever changes, I'm going to be a very, very sad human being. But I digress. Working with these individuals who are needing some help, and one of the ways that they are getting some help is by getting some additional schoolwork and things like that. And one of the fun things that they get to do when they have some free time is they get to go mountain biking. And I had the choice in this new job. Do I go mountain biking with this group of fun rapscallions, or do I do the responsible thing and do paperwork? I'm happy to report that I had a very nice time going mountain biking, and I picked up some very wonderful injuries along the way. I crashed 4 times. I don't remember being ever bad at biking. In fact, I know I'm not. I always was a good bicyclist as a young person, and I've had tons of fun on a bike, on bikes, around bikes, and something about this mountain bike and going very, very fast, and there being very, very poorly managed trails and things like that, rocks everywhere. Yeah, long story short, I definitely went over the handlebars twice, and otherwise had a pedal catch a rogue branch 2 other times. So yeah, I'm happy to report that I had the time of my life being irresponsible, and yet I did pay for it with several bumps and bruises, and I feel no regrets whatsoever. So it's good to be back. It's really good to be back in that environment with these individuals. It is good to be back. It's really where my heart is. And I don't know. I never was a bad kid growing up. Never really was. I never snuck out. I really never did anything that I ever would have thought that my parents disapproved of. And so I can't really say that I relate to these individuals in that way. And yet it's some of the best times I have connecting with them in a meaningful way. Yeah. So very happy to be where I'm at. Very happy to be having this opportunity to be back in the saddle. So, by the way, as I've been just discussing random things, we've had a little bit of an issue pop up. We have seen red cross our garrison borders, and they are now threatening everything that we hold dear in our lives. I think that we ought to do the very best we can to make sure that they cause us no further damage. They have defeated our garrison, so one of our defenses has been taken out. It looks like this castle of Rainhaven is the next one to be potentially defeated. Isra had only 4 spell points out of 100. There is no magic well anywhere nearby. If they make a straight shot for the upper right, they're going to get us. If they go in this direction, we're going to be fine. We're still going to be at least 3-4 days away, it looks like. So Rainhaven is going to need to purchase whatever dragons they can. If for no other reason, I just don't want to turn those creatures over to the enemy. We're going to trade pretty much, let's see. We're going to make one purchase here. Make it the Citadel here. And then everything else we do, well, I guess we just purchased everything. We're going to hope that our gold generation of 9,000 gold a day is going to be enough to combat Isra very, very shortly. Let's see it in action. Yeah, Isra's got a lot of movement points, but they didn't actually do much to beat us there, which feels a-okay to me. We did turn over some additional troops. Mafala has done their job, so we've cleared out Dragon Cliffs, Unicorn Glade, things like that. We do have a resupply coming from, I believe, Tiva. And in fact, because these 4 green dragons are here, I do want to make sure that we get them over as soon as possible and meet Jelyu along the road. Rally flag for the morale. Well, I suppose that that's morale and luck. And if we end up just simply losing this castle, I'll be sad. But we'll take it back immediately. So 4 green dragons it is. It feels bad to lose them like this with only some gremlins and some centaurs by their side. But that's what they got. It's that moment in The Lord of the Rings where Aragorn is talking with Orlando Bloom. Aragorn is talking with Legolas, and they're talking in Elvish. And he says, "And I shall die as one of them." Not a moment that is anywhere in particular in the actual book, but it still is one of those moments that was well adapted all the same. Movies and books, of course, are very, very different, and how you tell a story and storyboarding things out, it's got to be a really, really unique challenge. I always thought that The Lord of the Rings did a very, very nice job in telling the story with some adaptations that can make the movie really work, while still making sure that Tolkien would be proud of the movie that came out. And I think he would have been. I think he certainly would have been. A passerby tells tales of a glimmering shield he saw once somewhere in the southeast. He would have taken the shield, but a red dragon chased him away. And all that is to say that I'm actually very, very sad about some of the newer bits of, I don't want to call them lore because they're not. The new instances of Lord of the Rings fan fiction, let's call it that. I saw a commercial for the new Rings of Power that is by Amazon, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty disappointed. And I think that if you hear me say that, it'd be very easy for you to say, well, you've heard some negative reviews and now you're parroting them, and now you're just hating because it's trendy to hate on this new Lord of the Rings. And I'm not doing that. You can believe that if you'd like, but I'm self-aware enough to realize that that could happen, and I'm very confident in saying that that's not what's happening. There's something to do with modern audiences. There's something to do with not getting certain elements correct. For example, I saw a commercial or a little blurb where some of the orcs apparently have a conscience and don't want to fight. They don't want to go to war. They want to stay with their families. First off, Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings not to have male and female goblins. He wrote them to be malevolent creatures that are creatures of war. There's not supposed to be any redeeming qualities about these goblins or these orcs. None whatsoever. They're supposed to be just horrible, horrible creatures. And so I am very, very appreciative that a writer's job is difficult. A writer, and what they do, in essence, is to make sure that they explore bits of a story that could be. You take maybe a mundane subject and you turn it on its head. You explore bits of it in pieces and you say, what if? Well, what if magic was real? What if this could happen? What if this could be a real thing that could exist? And likewise, when you're telling a story, you have that opportunity where you can expand upon the original author's intentions, and you can flesh it out a little bit more in homage, if nothing else, and just say, well, what would the writer have possibly done? And it's not to say that you know better than them. You're just fleshing out the story and trying to continue the story, seeing where it goes from here. We have full spell points, so we are definitely going to fight this fight. We're going to put the ring on, so we're going to have an additional 2 life before we fight this fight. And it feels like it's fine for a writer or an author or a director or a person who does the storyboard. It's fine for them to try and continue the story and explore what could be. But if you miss the very essence of what the original artist had in mind, it's not going to come off in homage. It's going to feel more like you just didn't understand their work of art at all. And I'm not really a purist. I haven't read the Silmarillion. I haven't read all of J.R.R. Tolkien's works. I'm just saying, it feels like a couple of major misses have happened, and it really undercuts everything that the writers probably hoped that I would feel about their work. 10 attack, 10 defense, 7 spell power, 7 knowledge, 16 attack, 16 defense, 6 power, 12 knowledge. I think that we're going to do pretty darn well in this fight, especially because we do have all these spell points, right? 240, and we got 10 dragons, and we got 3 stacks of 50 sharpshooters. Let's fight this fight. The enemy has fled. Look at that. It says we're going to lose nothing. I'm wondering again if that's going to be because of the Resurrect True. I need to make sure that in my combat options, I have this turned off. Creature info, auto combat, spells. There it is. So creatures, spells, catapult. Okay, this is all good. This is all correct from here on out. A couple of options here. We do have the Expert Air. Do we have... We do not have Holy Word, Holy Shout. So we shall not use it. We're not going to help them out and use Death Ripple on ourselves. Shield could always be good. Mass Slow is always wonderful. And I think that the slow is actually much better than damage at this point. I think I like getting my buffing and debuffing spells out early because you're going to get the most use out of them, because then the enemy is going to be obliged with their 1 spell point. The enemy is going to be obliged to just take it and suffer. So, knowing that the enemy is going to have the worst time in the world, we're going to do that. What is your problem? Excuse me? Everybody else is with the program of being very, very slow, except for these 20 whites. Hello? Alright. There's no liches. Clumping doesn't matter. There's no spells. They're just going to die. They're going to die so quickly. This isn't going to be funny. This is going to be an absolute slaughter. Oh my word. This is the worst position I've ever seen an enemy in, actually. And this is going to be the most troops I think I've ever seen an enemy lose without the slightest struggle. If this was me and I was on the undead side right now, I would absolutely have already fled or surrendered, because there's no point. There's no point. I might have considered surrendering, actually, just to get out of this fight a little bit quicker, because this is not going to go well for you at all. I am so thrilled with this fight. I'm going to kill your first aid tent and your ballista. I don't want you to have first aid or artillery, which I think you do have artillery because I lost 2 of the sharpshooters. I don't want you to have the opportunity to run. And so we're going to, let's see. I can't kill you, and so I'm just going to move up here. Maybe you're going to stick around. Maybe you're not going to run. Nope. The enemy's fled. 2 sharpshooters is what it cost me. 4,500 experience. Let me think. Critical mistake. Why was that a critical mistake? Because if I had not attacked the first aid tent, if I had not attacked the ballista, I would have been able to completely wipe their army off the face of the planet. I gave them the opportunity to run when I shouldn't have. In my arrogance, I didn't just do damage when I could have done damage. Whoops. Folks, we got a little too cute. That is what we call getting a little too cute. And that's always a mistake. I don't know if Expert Wisdom is going to be a good thing here. I think Expert Wisdom is going to be good. if I am to believe that we're going to be level 25 in the upcoming campaign and we're going to have all the spells and skills and all these things, I think Expert Wisdom is going to be nice just to have as an insurance policy. Just that way we don't have to worry about any other possibilities. We're going to take the Expert Wisdom. It's never a bad thing. And I don't think that the diplomacy is really going to help us out in this game. I think that we're doing just fine. Thank you very, very much. Thane is going to head back, hopefully being ready for the next resupply as it is day 5. Tiva is just kind of hanging around. We got stuff to maybe pick up. We already got those elves. We got elves and some other things here. I am going to just keep a hero on this Redwood Observatory. I just want to know if the enemy is coming long before they get to me. Real quick for the Kingdom income, we are getting 1 of each resource, plus we're getting 3 crystal per day. 1 crystal cavern and then 2 of the resource generating resource silos. So we're doing just fine on resources and gold, not a problem. I think that we are very, very strong now. We're going to put the equestrian gloves back on tomorrow. We're going to get this tree of knowledge, and we are going to overwhelm this enemy before they have too much else going on. Tree of knowledge, might as well pay the 2,000 gold so we can get 1 extra level right now. We just leveled up. Now is probably a pretty good time to do that. Upon your approach, the tree opens its eyes in delight. Ah, an adventurer, I will be happy to teach you a little of what I have learned over the ages for a mere 2,000 gold. Just bury it around my roots. So I shall. Advanced diplomacy it is as we pick up level 22. I'm going to take like 2 steps out of my way here. Okay, I'm going to pick up these grand elves. Hopefully they join. They do. And in so doing, we're also going to pick up this +1 attack skill and grab these elves. The wood elves want to join me. 6,000 gold. Feels okay for myself. I guess I'm going to upgrade them in just a moment. And since I'm here, should I pick all this up? Do I need a shield? No, because I'm going to go back to here. Mafala is going to grab me this wonderful shield in just a moment. Not just yet, but in a moment. And so I don't need this Dwarven shield now. We're going to send another hero down to help me out. I think that we're still wanting gold more than anything. I don't think I really care about getting a first aid tent. Centaurs don't really excite me. Somebody's going to grab this extra stuff in a moment. So Thane's heading back. Dessa is my logistics hero and is going to be ready for the unicorns. And the 1 extra green dragon, it'll be Tiva. Tiva's going to go south and pick up this extra stuff. Wonderful. Might as well continue to upgrade this castle and go from there. Anyway, just in case I didn't actually say what the thing was in the commercial for the Lord of the Rings that bothered me, it was an orc had a little child and a wife, had a spouse. Yeah, nope, that's not Tolkien. Don't lie to me. Fix Fox, you're such a hater. I'm really not. I understand why you would say that, but I'm really not. But I appreciate the feedback. Thanks. I appreciate the feedback. Tell you what, I do appreciate feedback a lot, by the way. I was discussing with some individuals kind of my general strategy in working with people. And in discussing how much feedback really matters in good open communication and making sure that we understand each other clearly, I also realized how valuable it is for me to get good feedback. And it made me think about every boss I've ever had, every supervisor, every person that's really cared about me has always been somebody that gives me good constructive feedback. And I gotta say, it's very, very useful when people take more than just an interest in you, but they invest in you and yourself and try to make you better. And you can take it the wrong way, but I sure try not to. I sure try to take it in a productive way. Many fear the petrifying attack of the Medusa. You should fear more their golden arrows. I agree. Piquiderm, Piquidram, Pika. This guy. He's gonna help us out here. 8 speed on the Pegasi. I just don't want Jelyu to run into something bad. So I'm going to let this advanced scout find out whatever he can find out. We're going to sit right here on this trading post We're going to be ready to go in the morning, and we're going to see what we can see before we rush off into our death. Again, I think that 10 green dragons is enough. I don't think I need to be scared. But if I do, I want to know that in advance. These 2 red heroes are, of course, very concerning. Thant is always a bit of a burden to bear because of his animate dead speciality. 110 skeletons, 1 bone dragon, 7 of the Black Knights, 31 of the vampires, 22 of the zombies. Yeah, really, these liches are kind of the scariest thing. Let's see if we can jump on the liches and stay out of some of these other enemies' way. Looks like we did that just about right. Even if I kill, that was 3 liches there that 40 Grand Elves killed. Still puts me in an okay spot. I don't think we're going to be able to do much more. These centaurs can't reach. Might as well kill skeletons and be offensive while we can. This one bone dragon's just being silly. He's just hanging out. I don't think the Dendroid cards can destroy the one bone dragon. I don't think it's going to happen. So we're just going to waste our turn. Utterly. We're just going to utterly waste our turn. But this time, Bone Dragon's going to get rooted, and so then at least 27 Grand Elves should get the opportunity to take one good shot at a couple of skeletons. 100 down to 69. Nice. We'll call that good. And then we're just going to let the AI finish this for us. Like so. Okay. So 3 and 41. Maybe that was better, maybe that was worse. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to know if Thant just picked up some really nice artifacts. That could be highly concerning. It's new week. And because it's new week, we're going to be in a little bit of a weird spot here. Ignoring the windmill, ignoring some of these extra special things, I still think I want to push into this territory, but maybe I go the long way just to make sure that I deal with Thant. If I can defeat Thant before he gets stronger, before he gets a resupply, additional troops, additional artifacts, could work out just fine for me. There's a Freelancers Guild. I forget if Freelancers Guilds only trade in resources, or if you can also maybe get experience. I don't know. Can I reach? I cannot reach Grave Raven. That was probably a mistake. I probably should have been a little bit further onto the road here. If I was, I bet I could have reached. Yeah, I bet I could have reached. Darned. Even if I had upgraded the Wood Elves, that probably would have been enough. But so be it. We've made our mistakes before. We will live with them now as we have done so in the past. And I think that that actually makes my decision-making process a little bit easier here. I think that we go back to the rally flag. It'll give us the opportunity to grab a pack of Pegasi anyway, and then we can see if that Buckler of the Knoll King is there or not. So, unfortunate. And as I've said before, there's no such thing as being lucky or unfortunate in Heroes of Might and Magic. It's a strategy game, and so if you mess up, there was probably something else you could have done to make things go your way, and you just fell short. And it happens. So don't feel bad. But it was not luck. It was strategy. We are down to 2,000 gold. I think we're just going to ride or die with elves and dragons. And so let's have Thant head on in this direction. And unfortunately, let's see, unicorns. Can we get both? We can. And we'll pick up dragons at the start of tomorrow with Dessa and then go from there. Let's see what Thant does, because if Thant wanders too close, yeah, if Thant wanders just a little too close, we might be able to catch them. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got 2 enemies here. That's actually good, I think, because if we're tougher than them, then I think that we just obliterate them. I do want to see how tough Nimbus is. 2 of the Black Knights, not too bad. We're going to be a little bit too far, but because of our superior speed and this rally flag, we're definitely going to catch them next turn, if not right now. We can reach them right now, and we shall. We've got too many spell points. This isn't going to be a fight. This is going to be a slaughter. The enemy has fled, 3,000 extra experience. Let's see if this time Fix Fox can avoid giving the enemy a free chance to run away. Only 5 out of the 60 spell points. What is going on? It feels like the enemy is doing a bad job of conserving their spell points from playthrough to playthrough. I have noticed in general, and maybe that's something with Horn of the Abyss. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't think I'm imagining it though. I think that this is like a legit thing that I'm picking up on. I think that I've seen some cracks in the AI where it puts itself in these very precarious situations, and it feels bad. It feels bad. There's definitely something to be said about outmaneuvering your opponent and thinking ahead, so that way you can be the most effective that you can be. I don't feel like I'm necessarily doing that here, though. I think that the enemy is just making very critical mistakes. So 2300 experience. Somebody else is going to pick that up. Probably Dessa, as Dessa heads in our direction. They're going to ignore these other things. They will go the long way, though. Not going to get the Dwarven Treasury, but might as well defeat some elves on the way to me. Meanwhile, elves here. We've never really picked up the Spyglass. I don't think we're ever going to come back to the Scholar. We got too much stuff to do. So Mafala is going to facilitate this trade. Like that. And, better take a couple of Centaurs just in case. But otherwise, there comes a point where you're defeating enemy main heroes, and we've already done that twice. How many times do you have to defeat an enemy's primary hero in a scenario before you really have things in hand? I think that we've probably already got this scenario beat, and I'm trying to figure out where the challenge is in this scenario, actually. While searching through the rubble of a caved-in mine, you free a group of trapped dwarves. Grateful, the leader gives you a finely crafted shield. That's +2 to your defense. Because the enemy appears to be moving fairly slowly, if that makes any sense. They don't feel to be moving as fast as I am. And remember, I am only using one hero. I've got 5 heroes total, but I'm really only using one hero in my calculations to make these fights go my way. So I don't think I'm necessarily... I mean, maybe I just got a really nice fast start. I don't know. We'll see. Once you have the Vial of Lifeblood, combine it with the Ring of Life and the Ring of Vitality to create the Elixir of Life. You must have all 3 to form the Elixir of Life, and all 3 must remain together to keep the elixir stable. The process is simple. Place the rings inside the vial and thrice chant the words on the scroll you were given. Once you complete the 3rd chant, the elixir will come into being. Then bring it to me immediately. Yes, sir. No problem. I guess I always did wonder how heroes in this game always knew how to create these wonderful, combinable ultimate artifacts. I guess now we know. Now we know. Somebody has told them. Somebody's given them this good information. And that's stupendous. Speaking of which, I'm choosing to pay 1,000 gold, essentially, to get this free information. I know that there was an enemy hero here. Where they went, I don't know. I did want to find out. Let's see if the buckler is here. It is still here. And I do still need a buckler. Yes, I do. What a wonderful advantage. I'm going to pay all this gold. Yeah, I'm just going to pay the gold for it. Very costly, but +4 defense. Can't go wrong. 17 attack, 21 defense. I'm feeling strong. I feel like it's time to wander into danger, because I don't think that these enemies are wanting to fight me at all. If they leak up this way, which I think that they will, I think that we let them. I don't think that we're forever going to be trying to stop the enemy from advancing into our territory. This side of the map, I would hate to lose these dragon cliffs. It's okay. I think I'm going to have a big enough army I can cut their legs out from under them in this week, and then we should be fine. So, not too much more to go, I do believe. Although, I wonder if... Oh, there's Nimbus. That was a mistake. Although I do wonder if it's a requirement to use the Thieves Guild in the way that was discussed earlier. It might be, and if it is, that's going to feel a little bit weird. If I have to go and defeat red dragons, black dragons, either that or I get to just defeat the enemies in a straight up fight. Either way is fine for me, but I'd just like to know in advance. I don't think I'm going to get that knowledge though at this time. Okay, we're going to lose probably Thant. Oh, excuse me, Thane. I already said Thant once, didn't I? So I've already messed that up at least once. I'm going to accept these losses. I don't think that Isra is going to let me do too much. 61 spell points. Yeah, so be it. They got some additional stuff over there that I couldn't see. I'm gonna go back for Aislinn. I just don't have time to let you do anything. What are you doing? What if I could use +2 attack? Did you ever think about that? Because I could. In fact, I will. I'm gonna use it very, very well. I do need to use the View Earth real quick. So we're right here. I think that there was a castle here and here. I don't actually know which is better. Should we go to the corner? There's a red hero here. Probably a hero here. You know what? Tell you what. Let's go to the corner first and take that castle. Because if we do that, then I can maybe get a good look at the black dragons guarding that artifact. The artifact I know is black dragons being guarded in the southwest and red dragons in the southeast because of the very helpful tips from the AI, from the scripts that we're running in this game. Because these two heroes are still left alive, I think I'd prefer to have it be Tiva because they've got the defense and the tactics. Tactics is something I value very highly. And, let's just grab 3 dragons. And let's start to upgrade some of these troops. Dendroids are a wonderful upgrade. Going from Dendroids, soldiers to guards. Just the speed alone is pretty darn useful. And then otherwise, we'll pick up whatever freebies we can. That extra 4 defense, it is going to cost us, as you can see clearly. It was a lot of gold, and I'm very glad I did it. But again, it is going to cost us. I'm going to pick up this Garrison as well. I just don't want to have to worry about it any longer. Let's consolidate our forces. I wonder when we're going to run into this light blue border guard. I haven't seen it anywhere. There's a monolith 2-way. That tells me an awful lot, actually. And it looks like the enemy is running away there and running up here. Isra, what are you doing? Again, I don't want to lose this, but if I get one more set of dragons, I'll be fine. Okay. Here's a castle, Dark Cloud. Looks like these enemies are going to be very easily defeated. 14, 30, and 7 losses. It's going to be Thant in the castle, so we can actually do much better because his spells are going to be useful, and you can reanimate the dead, but I can resurrect my troops as well. This looks prime for 1 chain lightning. It looks like that is not going to affect anybody. 11 attack, 6 defense, 8 power, 6 knowledge, all spell points here. This is not an instance where no spells are going to be effective. Just those spells that I wanted. I think I can take out all these troops now. Took out most of them. Not too bad. We're going to prep the dragons. Do we fly across now or do we wait? I think that we wait for now. Might as well get our damage off while we can. Probably more worried about probably the Black Knights. I feel like I'm just picking on these guys at this point. My word. Ooh, that was dirty. Implosion for 44 sharpshooters. Good thing we've got the Resurrect True. So with that being said, vampires have put themselves in a position where at least the dragons can defeat them. Let's kill as many of these Walking Dead as we can. This one's skeleton's probably going to get bopped by some Pegasi or something of the likes. So here. Yeah, let's not lose 1 full stack of our sharpshooters. 29 come back. Could have been better. Could have been worse. And then from here, there's no way we can possibly mess this up. Unless you just start skipping troops. I'd love to keep these troops alive for that implosion. We're going to eat another implosion if we're not careful. So 32 sharpshooters it is. Let's take tons and tons of artifacts. Yeah, baby. There's that pendant of negativity. So we are now going to be immune to the, well, to the chain lightning and the lightning bolt if the enemies have it. Ogre's Club of Havoc. That's a big upgrade. A couple of extra goodies. Feels okay. Feels okay. Let's make that change right now. It would be pretty interesting if there was an ability to just click a button and then have any artifact that is statistically better than its counterpart immediately go into the slot where it ought to be. That would remove some of the skill-based situations from the game, but it's really not hard. Sometimes you just forget. It would be a way of simplifying the game, and I don't actually think that that'd be a problem, to be honest. It is believed that the Warlocks are able to create a mana vortex capable of doubling their mana capacity. We've seen that in action. We do already have the Cover of Darkness in place. So Neela is just here to explore a little bit more. See what else is around. We're going to keep a good eye on Isra. Dessa is doing Dessa things. Probably going to move troops in and around, actually. From here to here. Yeah. And Tiva is just going to sit and make sure that this castle does not get taken because there's dragons. And then Nimbus is still running. Pretty interesting. Did not expect that from him, actually. Steal some elves. And then Mafala is very, very brave for doing what they're doing right now. I got a feeling that she's putting herself in way more danger than she ought to. We will see how lucky or unlucky she gets. Very nice. I'm happy to see that the Dwarven Treasury got taken. Rather have the enemy go this way than that way. So that's all good. And I really want to find the entrance. Brown border guard. We got to defeat everybody. That changes the way this map goes. If we have to get a brown border guard in order to defeat our enemies, we might as well just defeat everybody now. And so it's day 6. We are going to do some massive, massive damage and find a very empty garrison. It's a little strange. I don't think it really matters to me if I pick up the arena. I understand the idea. I understand the concept of, well, you're trying to build up your hero for the next scenario. I think I'll be okay. If we have time, we'll go back and get it, but it's not going to hurt my feelings too bad if we don't. I do want Thane to maybe pick up one more week's worth of troops there. Otherwise, Tiva is holding on. And then Mafala is doing a little bit more exploring. Whoop, stay away from Nimbus. Stay away from you. This might be the end. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Huh. Yeah. So long as I don't lose these 2 castles, I don't care what you do. And the fact that you're not taking this Dragon Cliff away from me makes that strategy even more viable. This magical garrison could be a problem if we had any enemies to defeat here. Because there's no enemies, I don't feel too bad. Am I wrong for thinking I can defeat Vokial now? And if I do defeat him, do I just get the lifeblood for free without going through Sky of the Seer? Am I wrong for thinking that this seems like the end of the scenario? What? What? Because if I defeat him, like he should just have it on him, right? Is there any way I lose this scenario? Like, do I lose this fight? I don't see any reason why I should lose this fight. You split the dragons. You keep everybody else just the way they are. Yeah, a pack of... Hold on, he's not even your toughest hero, is he? Ah, Sir Mullick. 6 attack, 7 defense, 9 power, 4 knowledge. This isn't even going to be hard. Yeah, a glorious victory for 5,000 experience. You defeat the big bad evil guy. We're going to fight this anyway, just in case this is the final scenario, but this seems just fine to me. Huh. Okay. I guess you care about the power liches a lot. The bone dragons are going to get obliterated by sharpshooters. That's not even going to be a question. Down to 4 of the power liches. We're going to wait on the dragons. 1 blind comes out. Not bad. I like that decision making. We can kill at least 2, maybe 3 of these bone dragons. We do kill 2. Because of that, I think that we just work on these Black Knights. I think that we consider, do we want to kill the Wraiths? Not too much. But we're going to save ourselves the spell points anyway. And then with no retaliation, that's going to be 1 more bone dragon down there. Even the unicorns are going to get into the fight. They will take the retaliation from the Black Knights and from these vampires. Oh, never mind. Skeletons got in the way. And so now what? I mean, other than just falling prey to the blind. I mean, how bad could this be? 13. 2. Back off. And I messed up because I forgot that green dragons aren't going to get hasted. Whoops, my bad. We're not going to be able to kill this one bone dragon unless we get good morale. Well, we could. There's a chance we kill this bone dragon. It was very, very close. It cost us 24 creatures, 240 points of damage. Oh, and there were still these zombies left. These zombies were hiding. I totally missed them. Ta-da! 38 sharpshooters and 8 of the Pegasi. And he only has the breastplate of petrified wood. So we have taken out Vokial. We have taken Death's Gate, which has implosion and some wonderful spells and all these things. And he is eliminated. The enemy could rehire him if he just happens to pop back up in their tavern, but he's done. He's done. And so now we have to find border gates and stuff. I don't know what to make of this. Very strange. Very strange. Well, with that being said, I suppose we ought to just continue to be nosy and poke around here because we're not scared of any enemies. And our defenses should hold on this side of the map. All right, well, so be it. Isra is coming, so we're not going to hope to get lucky. Taking some freebies. Holding on with Tiva. Wondering what's over there now, unfortunately. Can we make it to the Garrison? Let's reclaim the Garrison and leave one Centaur in there. Just so that way I know if an enemy is coming my way. And then Neela is not going to take the Dragonfall, that's for sure. Another Garrison here. I just want to know where enemies are before they come upon me. Huh. What a strange scenario. And then you might as well purchase more heroes because why not? There's no troops left here that we can purchase, and so we're just going to pick up our Alchemist Lab. And I think that there was another Alchemist Lab over here somewhere, or over here somewhere. 1 hero, 2 heroes, and frankly, I think that with 6 green dragons, I can probably defeat them. And so if I get these Dragon Cliffs upgraded, I think that we'll actually roll over them in this upcoming week. I think that we're very quickly going to break the enemy's spirit. Iona, maybe she's tougher than me. Maybe. After the fact, we realized that it was a real big maybe. Whoops. Okay. But there's still one more Necromancer castle we can take. This is Grave Raven. We're going to accept these losses. I don't think we can really save the 9 sharpshooters unless we do the Resurrect True. Astral's a wonderful hero. Not a spell in the world could harm a black dragon. What if there was an orb of inhibition? What say you to that, Barkeep? Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Oh, that's because you're just a barkeep. And you haven't gone adventuring in the big wide world. That sounds so elitist of me. My word. This poor barkeep is trying to give me a good, reasonable tip, and I throw it in his face. I feel bad. I should feel bad. I do feel bad. Okay, well, lots of good things there. So keeping track of the enemy, 1, 2 heroes, and we know that there's another one over here, but they're more on our side of the map. Let's make sure that more than anything, let's purchase all the troops we can in our Necromancy castles. More than anywhere else. Let's get the Necromancy troops now. I just don't want to turn over a free castle and have to fight more troops. In fact, I'm going to trade lots of resources. I'm going to trade tons of gems, lots of sulfur, a fistful of wood, and that's going to help me have some reasonable defenses in all 3 of these castles, just in case an enemy is going to make a backdoor attempt. And then meanwhile, our other heroes are going to do some scouting. Tiva is still defending. We are here to do a resupply. It's going to be tomorrow that we purchase the dragons and head on out. But soon, very soon, we're going to be coming. So, sulfur, vampires, and again, 2 heroes. We'll purchase troops there to defend in just a second. 1, 2 heroes on this side of the map. 1 just crossed over, so 3 on our side of the map. Forced to suffer a bitter defeat. Very sad. But I did not do much there. I didn't build up that castle very much. So there's the garrison. We're very close to Iona. We're going to pick her up now. She's got no chance. In fact, she might... No, she could step right there. I thought maybe we had her blocked in so that she couldn't even run. Dragons. So good. And then unicorns? Wow. We are painfully out of gold. Painfully indeed. State. Hall of Darkness. Thane was going to step on this Fountain of Youth and then take these troops. I think we're going to do it like this. We're just going to take them now. There's no time to wait. And there's no time like the present. Just in case Iona gets away a little bit, she's not going to get away for long. And we will see about upgrading to gold dragons for too much longer. Neela's going to explore there a little bit. And Sir Mullick is going to go in this direction. If you didn't know, by the way, I think it's pronounced Mullick and not Mullich. Sir Mullick. This is apparently the portrait of one of the individuals who worked at... Was it 3DO? It was who had it before Ubisoft? I feel like it was 3DO. It was one of the creators, one of the upper management people. And so generally stoic, they are prone to spasmodic fits of uncoordinated excitement believed to intimidate the troops into working faster. This was a joke from the employees who were working on the game here about this one supervisor, and that is his portrait, which is very, very funny. That's why he's got +2 speed, and he intimidates his employees into working faster. A fun little joke. Very nice to get that nod. I would be honored, actually, to get that little bit of notoriety in this game. I think that's kind of adorable. It's kind of wonderful. Glorious victory here. And the enemy is soon running out of options. I don't know what they can do at this point, but I'm sure that they're going to try their very best to defeat us. But I'm still looking for tents. I need the green tent, I need the brown tent, and I need the light blue tent. I haven't seen any of those just yet, so I'm still exploring. Hopefully I find what we're looking for soon, because I'm getting a little bit worried. Maybe it's right here? Nope. Maybe it's up here. Nope. There's this monolith two-way. Where does the monolith... Maybe there's like... Maybe it's right in there? Maybe it's in the darkness. I just haven't happened upon it yet. It's not in this corner. Okay, so brown... You got to get green first. Is green up here? I don't know. But as soon as we defeat red, then I'll really start to worry about the final logistics of how we defeat this scenario. Remember that we do have the equestrian gloves, so we are just so fast. We are so fast. And so no matter where the enemy runs to, they're not going to last too much longer. Where did Straker get a couple of bone dragons? I guess Isra took the better troops. We're gonna chase them down. Nobody else really needs to do much of anything. Might as well go finally get this tree top tower. And dwarves. Advanced tactics. Can't feel too bad about that. You see, I invest in my troops. I care. Fix Fox cares about his people. He takes care of his lieutenants and commanders, because that's what a good Fix Fox does. Yep. That's exactly what you can expect out of me. That's going to be annoying to deal with. That's annoying to deal with. There's essentially 3 heroes in one castle. I don't want them to take any of these other castles from me. That's the only thing I just don't want. But the fact that Straker's going this far out of his way just to mess with me is just not fun. It's so not fun that I think that if I hire one other hero, I think, call it, I don't know, probably Tiva. Can Tiva run into, let's see. I may do a fast travel with Tiva. Let's see. I'm content with this area of the map. I'm going to leave all these troops here. Take some of these gremlins, and we're going to fight and lose a fight against some griffins. Just so that way we can be rehired as a good hero over here so we can deal with Straker. And so with that being said, we're going to continue on our way, and then Tiva is going to get rehired there, catch up to me, and then just go. Otherwise, Thant is going to be the backup hero just to help make that go well. Pick up gold mines, things like that. Grave Raven, nice to have some defenders here. Maybe it's right here? I'm lost. I'm very lost. Okay. Straker's just hanging out. I hate you, buddy. Okay, let's do this tactic here. We want to retreat. Do we want to retreat? Yep. Cowardly Tiva flees from battle. We're going to accept that. Ta-da! And we got the extra artifacts. With the Unicorn Glade and with the troops that we pick up here, we're just going to take, call it 7 of the dragons. That should be enough to make this fight go well for us. Heck, we're even going to take 17 of the sharpshooters, just to make sure we really have things going for us well. And free artifacts like these. Not the Ring of Life, that's mine. Spirit of Oppression, I don't actually want that on. I don't know why I had that on. And then Tiva's going to wait and replenish spell points because they have a couple extra to get. As we now pursue with our main hero. All the way down. Ultimately, though, by the way, this scenario, I know that I disparaged it a little bit ago. I said, where was the struggle? Like, where, like, why is this, like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit surprised about how well this scenario has gone. For you in the future, if you're playing this and you want to know, hey, what does FixFox recommend? I think I'd recommend doing pretty much exactly what we did. And truly, that would be to probably rush dragons as quickly as possible. And probably to, hopefully, hopefully, get that dragon cliff in the west of the map. Because that was immediately 2 additional dragons per turn, and now I can leave 7 dragons behind to just deal with Straker. If for no other reason than that, that sits very, very well for me. That was on purpose, by the way. I didn't actually attack because I didn't want to eat the retaliation, lose, and then provide access into my castle here. My hope now is just to hit Q and let the towers take one more shot at the enemy. It does. And so overall, that was worth it, kind of. Kind of not really. It was fine. And I think that we can take this castle before day 1. So not too bad. These heroes have been caught. They are very scared, as too they should be. And I'm still looking for, I mean, I need the green tent is really what I need. Truly, I need the green tent. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to go attack Straker. I thought that the thatched hut would actually give him peasants. In fact, it gives him the halflings. I don't think that that wins the fight for him, but that's kind of annoying because I thought it was going to be peasants and like not really a big deal. Whoops, my bad. Okay. And Straker thinks he can beat me. Glorious victory. Way to go, Tiva. Way to go. I have a choice here. Do I chase after Isra or do I go straight for Dark Cloud? I don't care about whatever reinforcements they're going to get. It's not going to be enough. This is their main hero. Let's defeat them. Glorious victory, 62. Tons of resource or tons of artifacts. I don't feel bad about the decision at all. I do want to get this upgraded Dragon Cliff, by the way, though. And I do want to make sure that one hero is here. Dessa's there for the long haul. Astral is still looking for what he can find. And then it's Tiva? Yeah, Tiva. Who's heading back. Okay. Alright, so we've just about beaten red, but I still don't know where the tent is. If you see it and I'm just not seeing it because I'm blind, I do apologize. I know that can be very frustrating when somebody's playing a game and there's something very obvious, but folks, I'm not seeing the obvious here. I'm really not. I'm really not. Let's see. We got some troops here. Let's purchase whatever we can here. Oops. Then we're just going to trade across the board. Because these troops should help us defeat these griffins. Maybe it's just in one of these corners here. Aha, there's something there. That is our heading. So what it is, I'm not sure. We're going to find out pretty quickly. Tiva does have stuff to do. I want her to give back the dragons. Dessa might as well start off with these green dragons. And, oh, let's call it the unicorns. Against black and red dragons, I think that there's other troops I'd rather have than tons and tons of sharpshooters. Not many, but there are some. So here, aha, found it. Quest guard. The guards say they have orders to only let Gelyu pass. Neat. Found him. So now we've gotten to this light blue Keymaster's tent. We'll pick that up in just a moment. And then let's see how quickly we can finish this map off. Because it shouldn't take us that long. And by the time we actually have to fight dragons and stuff, it'll probably be another week. So for that reason, let's actually head back with these reinforcements. And just go. In fact, hero speed, let's turn this to instant. Everybody else is good to go. We good? We clear? Okay. Good. Now we got speed. Now we're moving. Wood Elves want to join? Sure, why not? I very, very much appreciate the people who say, hey, Fixfox, you should always play at this speed. They prefer instant because that's the way they play. It gives me time to think. There's been some very apt viewers who have noticed that Fixfox has a process, and maybe you've noticed my process as well. My process generally involves me doing my best to think things through before I make a mistake, because many times we've noticed that Fixfox will make a mistake, and that feels bad, because I generally will restart the scenario if I make a mistake. And so if I don't have to make a mistake and if I don't have to restart, that just seems better for everybody. So I would prefer to do these things more as a one-shot than anything. Several red dragons, I think that we beat them no problems. Thieves, awaken my children, for lunch is served. Glorious victory. So rather than leave, we're just going to take these. The guards say they will only let those who fly the green flag pass. They've noted my flag. I'm going to take the Sentinel shield. It's going to be really fun. Magic arrow. What a great spell to have. We've already visited the brown Keymaster's tent. We need the other Keymaster's tent. I suppose we can pick that up in just a second. It's going to be several black dragons. I've got reason to believe that this shouldn't be nearly so bad, but just in case, we do have some reinforcements here. Looks like we're not actually going to need to bring up all these dragons that we were going to take. We're just going to finish this scenario off very, very quickly. Fun that there's the Vampire's Cowl. We already have the Amulet and one Vampire's Cowl. That's just kind of fun. I like to see stuff like that. Let's increase our power skill. Supreme Crown of the Magi, that's a +1. Still Eye of the Dragon, let's put that on there. I think more so than the +1 from the Ring of Vitality. And then before we fight the dragons, we're just going to have Sir Mullick just give over the rest of these troops. Just the good ones, please. No need to be fancy. Just to make sure that things are going very, very well for us. Yeah, because several black dragons is not that tough. How dare you enter my domain to thieve from us? Now we shall feast upon your charred remains. I highly doubt it. Glorious victory. Quest guard. They note my flag. I wonder what this spell scroll is. It is also a magic arrow. A Titan stops you and says, "Pay me 5,000 gold or I shall slay you where you stand." You refuse. The Titan grabs the sword hanging from his belt, but you duck between its legs. He is so surprised by this maneuver that he trips, falling on his sword, killing himself instantly. Titan's Gladius. It's very much a shame to give up all these artifacts, and yet that's exactly what we're going to do. And just with that, folks, that's going to be the end of the scenario. So, thank you so much for spending the time with me. The Elixir of Life campaign has been very, very fun. I love being able to use the sharpshooters. It makes a very interesting, fun wrinkle in the scenario. Gem had the feature of being very highly magical and being able to sling spells at the enemy, and you really got to feel like a powerful sorceress when you played the Gem campaign. And then when you get to play as Yogg the Barbarian, you really get to focus on the tactics of having no magic whatsoever, and the maps were very challenging for that reason, so no magic at all. And then here you get the wrinkle of getting to use the sharpshooters to be able to overwhelm your opponents in a unique way. And that's the thing that I love so much about these campaigns, is that there's very unique ways of winning from campaign to campaign to campaign. And the next campaign, which is going to be Crag Hack, is going to be very, very similar to the Yogg campaign, but not entirely. And it's going to be very, very fun. I love the Crag Hack campaign. That is going to be what we come upon next. But for now, let's finish this. All right, now we're talking merchandise. So we had a deal. Hand over the Sentinel shield and the Titan's Gladius, and my friend here will give you the vial of lifeblood. Do we have a deal? That's +2 to the health of all of our units. We're going to accept that trade. Congratulations. You have found the Elixir of Life and can claim victory. So folks, that's going to be the end of the Elixir of Life campaign, and I'm thrilled for it. Tons of fun.
I've completed construction of the Elixir of Life and saved Avli from the threat of the Necromancers of Deja, earning myself an honorable position within the Forest Guard. I look forward to my service faithfully protecting this beautiful land I love so much.
Dude, he sounds like a young bro. He sounds like a young guy. What a nice guy. I like that voice actor, because so far all of the exposition has been done by the commander of the Forest Guard above us, and that's, I think, the first time that we ever hear the person that we're basically playing as in this campaign speak, and that's pretty cool. So total time 186 days, base score of 2015, impossible difficulty. That gives us the ranking of an Archangel. So I think that we did Archangel for the Gem campaign. I think we did one below that for the Yogg campaign, and now we're back up to Archangel, so feels pretty good. And with that being said, yeah, it looks like Birth of the Barbarian, we were Archdevil at 1940, so that's the best score we've gotten so far. And I'm looking very, very much forward then to the very next scenario, which will be scenario 1 of Hack and Slash. It will be bashing skulls, and unfortunately I'm going to leave you with that, knowing that a great campaign is coming up. Folks, thanks for your time, thanks for your energy. My name is Fix Fox. I'm grateful for all the support, the good vibes. Drop me a comment. I appreciate the likes because those do help keep me motivated, and I'm very happy to be back in Heroes 3. I'm looking forward to seeing you around. Take care of you and your family and friends. See you around.